We spent like 100 grand on the whole project and it like never got it profitable, and so we quit it.
How much energy and how much time did you put into YouTube before it started giving you some sort of like a return?
After like 6 months it started like slowly pivoting, and now it's like everything that we do pretty much comes from YouTube.
Which one do you see as the most valuable platform if a new person wants to come in, start growing their founder brand?
We are more intentional on growing super niche audience because we are in a really small niche, but just like being the best in the niche.
Yeah, giving a lot of value into like a very specific niche. So you're not getting high views, but you're getting intentional views who are then more likely to end up buying your services. Yeah.
If you don't know who you're talking to and what these people struggle with and what kind of solutions they want, like everything is going to be irrelevant.
So it's been a year since our last podcast. The last podcast took a year to get out. This one's going to be faster, I promise.
Really?
Thank you for having faith in me in delivering this one a bit faster. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's just jump in. You've had quite a bit of success with Agency Velocity. How much of that success to you, and you don't have to flatter me by giving like whatever answer, just give me a true answer. How much of that success do you attribute to having a founder brand, like your own brand?
I think it's like... it's a bit of a hard question to answer, like just like really simply, but I think like without the founder brand, we would have never had the opportunity to create Angel Velocity. I think like Angel Velocity is like completely the opportunity for us to create it and get people, and because it's a mastermind, so we need to attract the right people. It's not just attracting a bunch of people who buy stuff, but it's attracting the right people who actually enjoy the community and who are similar to us and who have the same goals and have the same aspirations, because otherwise the mastermind group doesn't really work. So without the founder brand, it would have never been possible. I can't really imagine how we could have done it with any other lead generation or marketing method. Probably could have done it, but at least I couldn't figure it out. But then of course, like a big part of the success is everything else that happens in the back end and the product, etc. But I think the founder brand made it possible.
Yeah, because obviously you can't like build something without having good operations. So it's
exactly.
like the founder brand doesn't build your business, but it does drive leads.
Yeah, exactly. It gives the opportunity, and then you have to do something with the opportunity.
Yeah. So how much of your current partners, or let's say your lead flow in total, how much of your lead flow is from inbound specifically?
For Agent Velocity, everything is inbound.
So you're building a cold email marketing agency without cold emails and only inbound.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because it's like the problem with it, we used to do outbound for Agent Velocity. We used to do ads and outbound and with all the different channels, and it worked fine. Everything worked well. We obviously know how to do it. But then when we pivoted more to like a mastermind group setting and focusing more on the culture inside the group, we just realized that it's like really hard to target anyone on outbound on like the character types or their personality. So then like when you build a mastermind, in my opinion, it has to be inbound if you want to get the right people. But then of course we have our agency operations and all the other offers we sell. We always do that through outbound. Yeah,
because I helped you shoot some of the Facebook ads for the campaign. So how did that one go? Not to shit on anyone, not do anything, but it's just like I'm actually wondering.
Yeah, we spent like 100 grand on the whole project, and it like never got it profitable, and so we just quit it.
Okay, that's a big sum to play with.
Yeah.
But like in your experience now, what you know now, what do you think if you take the 100 grand and put it into like producing videos for yourself, content for yourself, you would expect better results then?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's like, once again, there are products that are great for, or there's offers that are really good for outbound. There's offers that are really good for scaling with ads and scaling with paid traffic, and there's offers that are really good for scaling with inbound. I think it's just, of course, that's like might just be a limiting belief in my head, and of course, some like super master marketer could probably do all of those things, but at least I have like a clear category of what I feel needs to be scaled with ads, what we scale with outbound, what we scale with inbound. And I think Agent Velocity especially is one of those things where it just has to be content, organic marketing, inbound leads. So we actually attract the right people and can like disqualify the people who are not the right fit, like Ori on the content side. Because someone is gonna see my YouTube video and they're gonna think, holy shit, this dude is annoying, he talks too fast, he has a dumb accent, whatever. he doesn't like my tattoos, whatever. So he's gonna automatically not be in the funnel. And then someone is gonna resonate a lot with it, and resonate a lot with my story, and resonate a lot with my message.
And the tattoos.
Yeah, and the tattoos and my handsome mustache, whatever. So then they are obviously like, then we know already that they probably have a lot of same character types and a lot of same goals that I have. And we are like, naturally, we are just probably similar people. So then in a mastermind setting, like all the people end up just being really similar. Like a great example of this is we had our second annual Tallinn Live event 2 weeks ago on a weekend. So we had like 25 people or 20 people fly to Tallinn or come with a boat, whatever they came with. And we did like a bunch of cool stuff. We did like co-working, we went to a cigar lounge, we went to a nice dinner, we went to play airsoft, we went running. We did all of these cool things together as a group. And even though most of us had never met each other outside of like Zoom and Slack, everyone had like a really amazing connection from like day one, and everyone like came together really well. There was no like friction. There was no like, no one was annoyed with anyone. Like everyone worked together really well, which is really rare in a group of like 20-25 people. Normally if you have a group of 20 people, there's always one person who has a bit of friction with the other. That's just like how humans naturally work.
Yeah, it's just numbers.
Yeah, but we had none of that, and we had none of that last year either. And I think like the biggest part of it is because we have done everything with content. So only the people who actually resonate with the message and are like similar to me are attracted to our stuff. So then the group just naturally is really similar to each other.
Yeah, so it acts like a nice filter as well to like qualify your release before you before you have to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, when they see your content, they don't like it, they're not going to reach out.
Exactly.
Last year I had the great fun of like joining you for the few events, and the guys were great. This year I would have joined, but I was grinding hard on like everything, so it's like zero time. But it feels like there's a big aspect in maintaining the community and community building as well. How intentional have you been like with the community aspect of?
Yeah, extremely. That has been like our focus for the last few years. Obviously, once again, it's just like a preference thing. Some people are really good at building funnels and products for just digital products and being it like there's no community, it's just a digital product or e-commerce, or some people are really good at building like done for you service solutions where they are just really hands-on and all these things. And it's just a preference, but I think we and our team is really good, maybe through a lot of failure and iteration or maybe just naturally, I don't know, but really good at building communities, and we have able to build like a really, really good community in Agent Velocity and seen the value of it. So we have just been like focusing on it more and more and more.
Do you have a role inside the company who manages the community or builds it, or is it like just like spread between people?
Yeah, just me and Rob mainly, and of course like our whole consulting team. Like we try to keep it. There's like different cultures or how company can run. There's like, I can't remember all the names, but there's like it can be really data led, so really led by numbers and led by data. There's like really bureaucratic companies where there's a lot of red tape, and there's a big hierarchy, and there's clear like leadership chains and levels and messaging, everything. And then there's something called a clan culture that we learned about from one of our consultants last year, where pretty much everything works without like there's no hierarchy. Like the C level is at the same level than the assistants and pretty much everyone in the company. So for community building, we have been using that like culture to build the company around. So pretty much we are all really, really hands-on with the community, in the weeds, talking to everyone, and so it has been great.
The only reason I'm digging into this is because I'm noticing from our own brand that we do with Miriam, the healthy homes that we're growing. So I'm going to step down as the face now, so Miriam's only going to be the face of healthy homes, and I'm going to keep doing the contract account, right? But like with healthy homes, because we're like both busy, and she's busy with Oscar now, our son, for the viewer, 8-month-old, and so we're not paying attention to the community. I know we have to, but it's like even hard answering DMs and answering like YouTube questions and everything. So at which point do you think somebody should start worrying about community? Is there like from grassroots, you should always be focused on community and growing and nurturing it? Or is it like from a certain point, okay, I've had this much success, now it's worth paying attention to? Or like, how did you approach this?
I think it depends once again, like a lot on what goal you just have. Like some people are not like, they just don't want to build a community. They want to.
But when you're building a founder brand and trying to do it, you kind of need a community in that sense.
Yeah, in a sense, like around your brand, and you need to be like engaged with the people who watch your content and engage with your audience in a sense. But when you actually go like into the deep end of it and actually start thinking about the culture and start building like trying to build like an actual movement and create different values inside and different routines and all of these things that are like that all of big communities and big groups and big like big audiences have in common. In my opinion, it's like you should start doing it immediately because it's way easier. Like when you start out, like when we started, for example, Agent Velocity, even before that, I was really engaged with my audience always. And I tried always to reply to all the DMs, etc. But even when we started like Agents Velocity and started like actually building the first like group of like people who they would pay to get in and all of these things, like it's so much easier to do when you start out because you only have like 10 people. So you can talk to everyone like every day for an hour. And yeah, you're gonna be super busy, but then that's gonna build like the core group inside the community. Because like let's say you have a community of 100 people, there's always gonna be 20-30 people who are like
the active ones.
Yeah, they're like
fans,
10 times more engaged. It's like I don't know if it's Pareto principle, 20% of the things, 80% of the results, or some other principle, but it's the same applies. Like in a community, like 20% of the people of the community are like do like 80% of the engagement in there, and so it's way easier just to build that core group inside the community way faster.
And when the community takes off, then the core group will handle it, keep it alive, create content, and attract like new people, and it's gonna be like a live community.
Yeah, exactly. And then like and then like when other people join the community, you're gonna have the core group that pretty much like shows the example, and they like show the values and show the routines, and then the community becomes way more self-sustaining. You don't have to be there every day. Like
it's gonna make your life a lot easier down the line.
100%.
Like growing, 100%. Nurturing it. Yeah, fair enough. But like, how did you go about like growing your brand? How intentional were you with it in the beginning before you had any, like you have like 50,000 on Twitter, so it's a valuable platform. It's like a lot of value can be extracted from that 50,000. So how intentional were you with like, okay, now I'm going to scale Twitter, or did it just like happen organically somehow?
I think like there of course was some kind of intention. I first started on LinkedIn. I just started sharing a bunch of stuff on LinkedIn because it was like a really good platform. If you're sending cold emails, LinkedIn is like really highly tied to it, and your like digital footprint in general. Like if someone receives a cold email from you, in a lot of cases in a B2B setting, they go check out your LinkedIn profile to do like a bit of background.
And also if you followed up with them on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it's like markets mature and markets get more skeptical. So then people do their background research, they go on LinkedIn, they see your profile, and if you're active there, obviously it's going to have a huge impact on cold email results. So I started doing LinkedIn and sharing a bunch of stuff there, but I never really enjoyed the nature of LinkedIn because it's really corporate. And even though I look like a fucking corporate geek with my colors, but still like LinkedIn is really corporate. It's really boring. Like people are building.
Things I learned about B2B sales while my divorce.
Exactly. Yeah, I went through a divorce, but I learned about good leadership. Like it's like people are building quote unquote personal brands, but nothing about their brand is personal. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't enjoy it. So then at that time I was also really active on Twitter, like just consuming content. There used to be, it's not that strong anymore, but there used to be this corner of Twitter called Money Twitter. Someone might know it, but it's like pretty small, and that was pretty much like a really tight community of Twitter users who all were like about online business, and it was like really tight group. You had like few people who were the biggest there, etc. And I was really active in consuming content, but I never created content there. And I was like, okay, I'll just move to Twitter because it's more fun to create. You can just tweet like really random stuff there, and it's like fine. You don't have to be really corporate there.
And even if you get edgy, it's like nobody's going to remember anything, but you might get some followers.
Exactly. So I started using Twitter. I got to like, I think 4,000 followers on Twitter when we launched Agent Velocity.
What year was this?
Yeah, it was like 2022 summer, so it's like 2 years ago. And yeah, we launched Agent Velocity straight from my 4,000 followers on Twitter, and we hit almost a 7-figure run rate from that. So even though it was only 4,000 Twitter followers, but my audience was really engaged. I talked to everyone. I replied to every single DM. I was really active there. I was creating a bunch of contents, and it was really authentic content. I was not trying to like have this role or have this corporate mask that I had on LinkedIn naturally. So people were really engaged, and we created Agent Velocity based on that. And then like over the times kept just growing Twitter, etc. But then started seeing that first of all the community in Twitter started like disappearing. Everyone started moving to different platforms, and also the algorithms, some of these things. It also might be a bit of cope, but I wasn't seeing the same kind of success that I saw there like a year ago. So then we started doing YouTube, and just like YouTube has been like pretty intentional. We haven't been intentional in growing a big audience. We are more intentional on growing super niche audience, because we are in a really small niche, but just like being the best in the niche.
Yeah, giving a lot of value into like a very specific niche. So you're not getting high views, but you're getting intentional views who are then more likely to end up and buying your services.
Exactly. Because like there's no, at least I don't see any point in trying to go out there and compete with Iman Gatsi or compete with Andrew Tate or compete with any of these like really mass market people. It's a different strategy, and I just like it's just really expensive to do that, because like those people are spending like so much money on their like filming team and their editors, and
I think Iman Gatsi has like something ridiculous, like 20 plus editors or something.
100%. It's like crazy, and like I just don't really see a point in doing that. So we are more focused on, because like YouTube is
unless you want to make media or like primary thing.
Yeah, exactly. But then like for like a high ticket offer, when you sell like B2B, YouTube is at the end of the day, it's a search engine. People go to YouTube to learn different things. So then if you create videos around the keywords that your niche searches for, like you're able to be like ranked number one. Like if you go Google how to start a lead generation agency, like my videos are the first ones that pop up, or anything about like our niche, like we are always like top one or even top three in the searches.
That's one of the amazing things about YouTube, is that Google ranks their own products higher. So if you have a video that answers the question, it's gonna be in the top, even like before ads or like next to the ads, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's really powerful.
How much energy and how much time did you put into YouTube before it started giving you some sort of like a return?
I would say that the first like 6 months we weren't getting much out of there. Like we were getting some calls and some leads and some clients from here and there, but it wasn't really predictable. We also were pretty bad at tracking it at that point, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So I might be wrong, but there wasn't really much that it was like impacting. Like 90% of our lead flow was still coming from Twitter. But I think that after like 6 months, it started like slowly pivoting, and now it's like everything that we do pretty much comes from YouTube.
And how do you track that it comes from YouTube?
Just through like UTMs and like we ask in call booking forums where people found us from, and just talking to like we don't have like a mass audience, or we don't have like hundreds of thousands of clients or even thousands of clients. We only have like a handful, so it's really easy also to know.
I mean, you say a handful, but it's still like 100 plus people, right?
Yeah.
Won't fit that.
Few hundred, but still like it's pretty easy to like gauge like general consensus of it. But
and when we look at platforms, like okay, there's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Twitter.
Yeah.
So if there's anything more you can add, but like which one do you see as the most valuable platform if a new person wants to come in, start growing their founder brand, doing founder-led marketing? Which platform should they start focusing on? Where do you see the most value?
I think it depends a lot, once again, on your like personality and what you're good at. Like if you're a really good writer and you enjoy writing, then like Twitter and LinkedIn combination is a pretty no-brainer. I don't know, I haven't personally ever created content on Facebook, but if I would have to guess, I don't think there's like much going on there.
If you're doing like elder insurance,
then maybe 100%. But like
if that's a thing, even I don't know, it's like insurance for old people.
But like LinkedIn and Twitter combination is really easy, because you can create the same content on LinkedIn or Twitter, and then you can post it on both places. So like if you are really really good writer, have a LinkedIn, have Twitter, have a newsletter, write a blog, because then you just write. But then, for example, for me, it's way more natural to talk and be on video, and that's what I enjoy, and I'm really good at video sales and all of these things. So YouTube is the obvious choice for me. And from all the platforms that I have created content on, I've done like IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. I've enjoyed YouTube like 10 times more than anything else.
Yeah, because you're now into filmmaking as well, and you're editing your own videos.
Exactly, yeah, I'm getting into that rabbit hole, but it's great. And then like I think like there's also a lot of room. There's a lot of people like succeed with like IG Reels and TikTok. Of course,
Casper is going crazy on IG Reels. Yeah, but I'm wondering, because our like Leevi, he works with you, right? Or he's in Agent Velocity, right?
Yeah, he's in AV.
Yeah, so there's Casper, we can put some B-roll on it. Jamie, put some B-roll. Bring it up.
Yeah, Casper with a bear.
He's been doing these animated Instagram Reels, and you've also picked up that style, and he built like something crazy, like 100,000 followers on Instagram with these, and it's like more than 20 million views at least, right?
Way more.
Way more, yeah. So, but how well do these work for inbound? Do you know?
They don't really like work. Like the biggest difficulty is if you do like TikTok, unless you do like really personal TikToks where your personality is really out there. But then like if you do like for example the animations, like it's not like really focused on the actual person behind the content. It's just like so then the biggest difficulty is converting that audience into something like an actual audience, nurturing them. So whatever, for example, what Kasper is doing right now, he's funneling that traffic to YouTube and funneling those people into YouTube, and he's creating long form vlogs and stuff like this. So that obviously is like a really good strategy. But
okay, but does the funnel work? Does do the Instagram viewers convert to YouTube?
Yeah, like it's a pretty small percentage. Like from 100,000 followers on IG, he has like 500 on YouTube. But obviously, it's like early days. He has only posted like few videos, and his YouTube videos are also really high quality. So I think they're gonna do really well. Nice. But we did it for a bit. We did it for a few months. But once again, it's like
he just restarted his YouTube then, right?
Yeah. But I've never been a huge fan of like short form content. I think like the people who watch short form content a lot, they have never been really the audience that we want to attract.
Yeah,
because they have a different mindset. They're just like doom scrolling, and you have to be like really simple. Like the big problem when I used to do like TikTok and IGs that I had is the language has to be so simple. You have to leave out like all the like actual nuance, and you can't go into anything detail. It has to be like how to make money online, start a business, get clients, scale the business, and like that's gonna do well. But that content is like completely useless.
It's not gonna bring you any inbound, yeah.
So then it's like, I have just never liked it. I just like long form.
Yeah, I mean, I do see a playbook there for because like what I told you the other day as well, it's like our new offer. But I see a playbook there with that might be possible in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because like LinkedIn is trying to get the video up, and there's like might be people who are interested in these things at LinkedIn.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's like the problem is like finding somebody, a needle in a haystack from TikTok or Instagram, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, 100%. And also it's like if I say that short form isn't like I don't like short form, doesn't mean it works. Obviously, you can look at like Andrew Tate, Imagazzi, Luke Belmar, all of these like people who blew them up.
But again, that blew them up because they're going wide.
Yeah.
But I think there is like maybe like a top of funnel thing, like being not too niche, but like somewhere like golden halfway, just trying it out on LinkedIn, especially because there's like so much free traffic there right now. And just like for context as well. And I heard this from Madis the other day.
Yeah.
So tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I thought I was a genius, but Madi said that you had been doing this for years. So it's like the new model that new offer that we're launching is we sit down with you, for example, do a quick interview. What have you been reading? What are you interested in talking about? What do you want to express to your audience? Share all the resources that you have. We're going to take everything, take the 1 hour interview, write 15 scripts for you, give you the full scripts. You sit down, take 2-3 hours, read all the scripts to the camera, and we take them, edit them, and then you have content for a month.
We have done that.
You did that.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not a genius then.
But we did that. But it's like, once again, it's like you just have to be. I think once again, it like really comes down to what are you first of all selling, and also the character that you are. Like for example,
quick side question: which platform did you publish this in, and what did you do then?
We first we did the interview, then we wrote it into LinkedIn and Twitter content, and then I used those like LinkedIn and Twitter hooks and scripts to film short form on.
Gotcha.
So we did one interview, and that created 4 or 5 different channels worth of content. But once again, I just didn't like it.
And you don't have to say any good things, but it's just like real experiences. Like, how did it work? You didn't like it, so it didn't work either, or?
Yeah, it's like on LinkedIn and Twitter it worked really well. We did for months, but I just once again just personal preference. I think a lot of the content online, especially when you especially YouTube, but of course you see it a lot on short form as well. It's it's really it's hard to describe, but it's really soulless. It's you have this Alex Hormozy text and high edits and zooms and B-roll. It just if it's not done right, it just comes across as really inauthentic, and it's it just has no soul. And I just personally once again, it's for marketing purposes, it works really well. It works extremely well, but I just don't like doing it. So I'm just trying to figure out a way of how to do actually really authentic, really personal content without getting punished by the algorithm and without like leaving too much potential on the table.
Maybe it's like there's a thing, it's you create a long form YouTube video, and from the same topic you create a few short videos that funnel into the long form YouTube video.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's like a lot of things you can do there. And like then if you look at, once again, like there are characters that are like perfect for short form. Like once again, if you look at like
some are growing like crazy there.
And like if you look at, for example, Andrew Tate, like I think his character is like the stuff that he speaks is like perfect for short form. It's really controversial, he's really loud, he's really like well articulated, he's a really good speaker, and he has all the flashy things that he can use to like hook you into the like short form content. So like some people are like built for that.
But I think it's also your artistry showing. You said it's like no soul, and that's the thing that got you into. That's the stuff I heard in film school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there's for sure like a small.
But I mean, for you, it's like what you could do definitely is like just play around and have fun with it and make it yours. It's like worth a try. You know, it's like you don't have to follow whatever the fuck. Pardon my French. Whatever the fuck everyone else is doing. But it's like just make it you know.
Yeah, that's the goal that we are like what I'm trying to do right now. But it's like a lot of the things that I try out just like don't perform at all, and I can like already guess that it's not gonna perform. Like I have a bunch of ideas and I'm thinking, okay, this is most likely it's not gonna work, but if it works, this is gonna be the best thing ever.
Yeah,
and then like most of the things don't work.
But doesn't matter. Like I enjoy watching your YouTube videos. It's like sometimes I see a new YouTube video comes out, I'm making breakfast, something, Leevi's new video.
That's perfect.
Open it up in YouTube, watch time. Even if sometimes I have to run out and then watch the whole thing, I'm still generating watch time.
Exactly.
So I'm doing my civic duty.
Thank you, man. But that's also like one big thing that we like focus a lot. Like, for example, when I used to do like for the first 1.5 years when I did YouTube, I had an editing team, I had a scripting team, I had an idea generating team. So they would give me an idea, they would give me a script, they would give me an angle, and I would just like use that structure that they gave me. I would create content. They would go to the editor team, and the editor team would like make it like highly engaging, like retention hacking the edit. And I did it for 1.5 years. It obviously worked really well. We got like crazy amount of leads. We got like really successful videos. Everything worked really well. And we generated like over 7 figures from that like a year. But then I just, once again, I didn't like the type of content. And then when I switched to more authentic, I dropped the editing, or I started doing my own edits. I started being more authentic. I didn't have a script. I wasn't trying to get good retention. Some of the videos that we do are like 3 hours long, 2 hours long. It's obviously not like YouTube algo optimized. But then what I saw is a lot of my friends who are entrepreneurs themselves, like more advanced, started saying that, hey, your videos are great. And a lot of the people who we already work with, aka are like perfect ICP, they were also started saying, like sending me messages, bro, last video was great. And I never got that before. So that's also like a really good indicator that that type of content is correct, because it doesn't appeal to the resonating masses. Yeah, it doesn't appeal to the masses, but it appeals to the people who we actually want to work with, the more advanced people. They don't need the retention hacking. They already have the like attention span. They just want like raw, actual like value and insights and truths, and see the personality there.
I think that's a trap people often fall into as well when they want to build a media presence. They want to build their founder brand. They're talking about things and putting out videos what they think people want to hear and not what actually interests them. And the other danger there is you yourself will get bored. Like I said, it's like the podcast last year. It's like kind of was like the previous episodes, like the first 6 episodes on this podcast, if you watch them, they were filmed last year. It took me a year to get them out. And it's like I couldn't put them out because I was kind of like self-critical and could not look at myself talking to somebody or interviewing somebody. And I think that also stemmed from the same fact that I wasn't like deeply engaged in the topic. I was trying to put on a facade and ask questions what I think the audience would like, what not actually interests me. And that's like no fucking way you can build a podcast or a brand like that, because you're gonna get bored and it's like nothing.
You're gonna be like
there.
3 years deep. Your audience wants this like specific editing style that you hate, and they want to hear you talk about things that you don't like, and you want to interview people that you're not interested in interviewing, and they're just like, there's no winning. You either have to quit it and start from zero and scrap the whole audience, or you just have to keep doing the thing that you actually hate. And it's like, it happens to a lot of people.
It's kind of like the Hawk Tua girl. Now she's famous, riding the wave, being like on stage with some like country rappers or country artists who are there. And imagine like, okay, she's having fun now, but imagine in like 3 years, she's walking on the street completely fed up with that stuff. Maybe not even 3 years, and someone is like, hey, that's a talk to a girl, do the thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think like a good example of that is like some people, like most people are not good at converting that kind of attention, but like once again, I don't really agree with the funnel. I don't really agree the values behind like. But if you look at the Catch Me Outside girl, like she made like fucking 30 million last year or something crazy through her OnlyFans. Obviously, once again, I think that's like super degenerate, and she's gonna regret it even more. But it's like, or maybe not. But it's like, yeah, you just have to be like really, really like smart and intentional when you like get into a situation where you have this brand or you have this audience that wants you to do something that you don't want. It's like it's possible, but it's probably hard.
So if somebody wants to start, like a new person wants to get into the game and start growing now, so it's like it's good to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah,
it's you share this like, okay, you want to do content that's authentic to you, actually authentic, and not say things that people want to hear, not say things that you think people want to hear, but just be you. What are some other hiccups that you've had along the way, if something comes to mind that, okay, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that for me was like a hiccup that I would like, if I would start it again, that I would like immediately I would want to skip is when I started is I immediately like hired an editing team, and I started putting a lot of money into the content that I was creating. Obviously this might not like be something that everyone would do. Obviously I already had like a great business, so I had the resources to do it, but it's like the fact is your first 100 videos are gonna suck anyways, especially on YouTube. Like if you do 100 videos, like the first at least 50 are gonna be terrible. They're gonna be trash. So it's like pretty pointless to spend money on them. They're gonna be trash videos. So I think that would be something. I would just get the first 50 out of the way first.
Get into the flow of like making things, figuring out how you want to come across, practice.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I would say like the second biggest thing, I didn't have this much on Twitter because Twitter is really laid back platform, and like at least back in the day, like coming from LinkedIn to Twitter was a bit edgy. So you could be like pretty edgy there, and you could be like yourself really freely. So I never had this issue there. But on YouTube, I for sure had, like for the first year, I even feel like I had a completely different like persona that I actually was. And it's pretty hard. Like especially like we know that like I have like 10,000 subscribers, a lot of people watch them, a lot of the people who I know or work with watch them. So you want to come across as like the best version of yourself,
energetic and stuff. And it's like like all the Americans are fast talking and energetic.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like you just are not yourself, and I think that's like the hardest thing. And even if you acknowledge it, I think it's still pretty hard to get rid of it.
Completely agree. This is something I'm going through right now. Did you see the AI video that I posted just yesterday?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna show it to you later. But perfect. All my last videos is I've been like super articulate and really trying to say things and act energetic on all the shorts. But it's like this one I shot like on the other side. This is a fake wall for the viewers. This is
exposed,
like completely exposed, all fake. So on the other side of this wall is another set, and we shot it over there. And I was sick. That was like a post Mind Valley presentation, right? So I was still sick. I felt like shit, but I wanted to get it out of the way and out quickly because I like told Vision, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get it out this week, right? And that was last week, so we got it out yesterday. It doesn't matter. I was sick. It's my excuse. Anyway, but I was tired, and I kind of knew the script and everything. But so I just like sat down. Let's just do it. I'm just gonna read it out, and it was exactly like this, just talking. And I got messages yesterday like, hey, dude, your last video is the best one yet. Yeah. It's like you're chill, you're understandable, and you don't have a nasal voice. I'm like, the fuck?
Why did they tell you that before?
I don't know why they told me that. That was Kavinsky. Yeah, this one wasn't nasally. It's like
you were the fucking idiot, like on all the other videos you've done.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And then of course it's like you think that it's better for the performance of the videos when you are like exactly like everyone in America, but you just end up looking like everyone else, and you have no competitive advantage. Yeah. So like even if you create like really good content, there's like 100 other people in your niche who create better content than you. They have been doing it for a longer time and they present in the exact same way. So the only way how you can really compete is like just being yourself and just hoping that people resonate with yourself, and usually a lot of people do.
I mean, the only exception to that I see is like, okay, you're a busy CEO, you know this is what you want to do, you want to try this out, but you don't have fucking time to go and edit like 20 videos and you have excess funds, then sure, like hire a team and do the videos.
100%.
But if you're just like starting out and you have extra time and you want to do the editing thing, then it's like create the videos yourself, like you said, first 20 videos at least. Create yourself, script yourself, film yourself, and also edit yourself, teach yourself how to edit, because that's where I see the most bang for the buck, and that's where I learned the most as well, is by editing myself in front of the camera and then learning from how I should behave, how I should talk, and learning all your quirks and tics and everything, all these things.
Exactly. And then also like what I noticed like really differently is the first 1.5 years when we did YouTube, I had a team for the whole time. So then after like 1.5 years when we fired the team and we started doing it, or I started doing it myself, I realized that I don't actually know that much about YouTube. I was really good presenter. I was pretty good like in front of a camera already, but I didn't understand YouTube that well. I didn't like, because I was really detached from the videos. I would film a video, I would send to the editor, and a week later it would go out and I wouldn't really even watch it because I didn't like the content myself, so I wouldn't watch it. So then like
red flag.
Can't believe that went on for like 1.5 years. But then now that I edit my own videos, I'm like way more aware of what happens at minute 8, for example. And then when I look at the retention graph, I'm more aware of what things affect, and it's way easier to analyze it. But of course, like what you said, it's like, it of course depends a lot. Like if you are the CEO of a big company in your niche and you have this big established brand and you are like, you have this big organization, you usually have like a more corporate brand and all of these things. Of course, you should hire an editor, make it look really nice, and how all of the sets, like it's really different for someone like that, like a big CEO of a nine-figure corporate company than for example for me. I can get away with way more stuff that CEO can't, because I'm young, we have a small business, we are all of our ideal clients are
and
like
you're B2B, and it's exactly
exactly. So yeah, of course there's like nuance to that as well, but if you're like at a starting state and you don't have already a massive business behind you and you don't have a massive brand image that you need to keep up, then like I think that's like the perfect time to like drive into the weeds and just create shit videos.
Perfect advice. Yeah, because one of the things that I admire about you and how you make videos is I'm a prompter guy. I need my teleprompter, I need the full script in front of me. But I've noticed that, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you maybe know what you're going to say in the intro, maybe you know what you're going to say in the outro, but most of the videos you just talk and riff and then like draw along, right?
Yeah. It's like a big advantage of it is, go ahead.
So question there is, continue what you're saying as well, but the question there is it something that you had or you developed?
I think I developed it over time. Like since my first videos, I never had a script, I never had a teleprompter. When I did short form, I had a script, because it's like it needs to be like there's no room for excess words and every word needs to hit. And when I do ads, when we did ads, we had a teleprompter, because once again, when you do like paid ads to cold audience, once again every word needs to hit, like you don't have that much like room for error there. But when I do long form content, I've never had it even since from the beginning. Sometimes I script an intro, but I have used the same structure. I have created like hundreds of video sales letters in my life, and I have written them out for other companies, I've written them out for clients, I've written them out for ourselves, and I always use the same structure. I have spent a lot of money in hiring consultants and mentors to teach me how to create like really good video sales letters. So even if I'm not selling something on a video, I already know that I have a great structure that I can like deliver points on and actually like sell people on the idea. Even if you're not selling a product, you're selling someone on taking action or like breaking a belief or whatever it might be. So I always use the same structure. So it's really easy for me. When I do the intro, I know what kind of headlines work. I know how to call out the audience. I know that, okay, here I need to introduce a unique mechanism, or okay, the sophistication level of this thing is probably like really low, so I need to introduce different unique mechanism, or this is the claim that I need to use, or these are the pain points that I need to call out. And this is where I say something. So in my head, because I've used the same structure like hundreds of times now, I have spent thousands of hours writing VSLs and creating and filming VSLs with the same structure. It's like just subconsciously I just know exactly what to say where, and then I sometimes I say better stuff and sometimes worse stuff, but the structure always stays the same, so it makes it easier.
For me, it's when I try to as in a podcast is fine, in a conversation is fine. When I'm doing like a live presentation, for example, like teaching a group of people on Zoom, completely fine. I have some bullet points, I know what I kind of want to talk about, I go through them, I'm fine. When I go on stage or when I make a YouTube video, completely crash up here. So it's a skill that I really want to learn how to start developing as well. But as you said, it's just like reps and doing it and know your content.
Yeah, I think it's just like if you're just know the things that you're gonna talk about like extremely well, and you just have the structure in your head, and then you have just done it for a long time, you just get automatically better. And like you said, like when you edit your own videos or when you look back at your videos, you start seeing that, okay, like I'm repeating myself a lot. Like you're just yapping or you're saying a lot of
but
and
those are the things you can cut out anyway.
But if you want to do like unedited videos, then you can, and even you should want to become a better presenter, you can just start paying attention to those and start moving those a little bit. Like if you go back to, for example, maybe not our last podcast that we did, because it was more so Rob talking, but if you go back to like our videos like 1.5 years ago, it was, the presenting was like 1,000 times worse. So you just need to constantly like pay attention to speaking and study speaking and all of these things.
Like the book you recommended, the how highly effective people communicate, right?
It's really good. Did
you finish
amazing.
reading it?
No, it's so hardcore to read. It takes me like 30 minutes to read through 10 pages because there's so much information to like consume and process. But yeah, I think it's just practice and especially for maybe not so, you probably have also had to go through this, but when you are creating videos and presenting in a language that isn't your like mother language or whatever, your first language, then there's also a second element of, okay, the grammar and the words and the pronunciation, etc. Like
exactly.
A great thing, I was watching back a webinar recording that I did like 1.5 years ago when I was living in Bangkok, and I did this webinar recording. And I was looking at like my presentation on the webinar, and I had this really funny way of talking. I talked like every single sentence ended up in like upwards inflection. So every single sentence sounded the same, and I was talking like this. And I just think it's like getting rid of those like dumb habits, because otherwise you're gonna sound like an idiot. So just paying attention to your presentation.
I was taking, Miriam gave me a gift a couple of years ago, gave me this vocal training, vocal coaching, because I did not know how to use my diaphragm. I did not know how to talk. I was constantly like up here in my like whatever, like the voice was stuck up here and there's like no resonance or anything. And that really helped me. And the same vocal coach gave me some like a nice few tips on how to actually nail the cadence of how you're talking, where you're putting the emphasis and everything. So what she told me is what I used to do before on paper, but now I do it subconsciously as well because I practiced, is I got my script and I went through it. I made a system like underline, italic, bold, color coding, whatever. And I put emphasis on the words where I think emphasis should be in every sentence, and then figured out all the pauses and presentation beforehand. And now, okay, not in a podcast right now, but when I'm doing a video, then I know exactly where to put emphasis on, what words to emphasize, where to pause, where to give room for people to think, and what things to gloss over. So it's like just going with the intentional practice of doing these things. And of course, another point to that's another agreement on your point, to get those first videos out of the way. 10, 20, 50 is like, these are the things you're going to figure out and get rid of, and then you're going to start investing money and like doing everything.
Exactly.
Otherwise you just need a director. That's what I do to Miriam as well. Every time we film with Miriam, I sit there and Christo's been there, Jamie's been there and seen me like direct Miriam, and everything that she's saying is like, because I know how these things, because I write the scripts as well. It's like, I wrote the script, I know how these things should be said, but then she says them different way, and I stop her and I keep going, no, take it again, no, say this way, and then, no, like watch me do it now. I'm saying the sentence like this, and then it's just like directing her through it. But in the end, it's a painful process. It's gotten for her. So it's gotten a lot less painful, but she's gotten a lot better at these things as well by working with a director. So if you have the option, if you're like a corporate professional, just like hire somebody who knows how to direct you and like guide you through the camera presentation, then because that's another option there.
Exactly. But there's a lot of like you can do with presentation and a lot of like small subtle body language cues. Like I can't remember, once again, there's like some stat, but like 80% of your actual presentation and what you say is about your body language, because it's like so much older than the actual language, and that's how subconsciously like how your face moves and how your hands moves, etc. So there's a like crazy amount of stuff that you can like improve in your presentation by just studying like these physical cues and body language stuff. But once again, it's like you would just rather first like create 50 videos and then start studying, because then you have some context of like what you do and what you don't do, what you do wrong, what you do correctly.
Dude,
already.
I have this great idea now. Side story to this great idea is last week I filmed this guy. I met this guy here who used to do speech writing for the Dubai royal family. So I shot him on the other side of the studio. And he now launched this program called Unscripted, and he teaches improv for business purposes. And this is something that I've been idling in my head for a long time, ever since I heard it from like Colin and Samir like a year ago, is I want to try improv, because he was saying that as well. It's like number one skill to make you a better presenter on stage and everywhere, and just like better speaker, is doing improv and practicing improv. And that's something I really want to do. Of course, like he didn't have camera experience, so I was sitting there directing him. It's like, bring it down for the camera, you're not on stage. Because if you're presenting on camera, like you're talking to a whole stage and a big audience, you're gonna look like a crazy person. So it's like we worked on bringing that a bit down, but it's improv is something I want to do. And now it brings me to my great idea. Dylan, last week, was just saying that we have so many like cool entrepreneurial people. We should bring them, like we have the dinners and stuff, but it's like bring them together into like Chill a Day's office and just like brainstorm stuff and share what we've been doing and learning and all these things. And since like me, you, Dylan, and Madis as well, all of us want to improve our camera presence, maybe we should like take an improv class or practice.
For sure. I think it would be super fun.
I think it would really do fun. It, because I had improv classes at college, and it's like, it's so fucking fun. We just like flipped tables and we played war at college.
Yeah, sounds like a great time.
It sounds like a fucking great time.
We just have to find one in English here.
Yeah, I definitely can find something.
Yeah,
so I'm
that would be
look into it. It's just like switching off. It's just like whatever, you know.
Yeah, it could be really fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the takeaway here, improv. And so do you have any other tips? It's like what you would tell people is like, okay, that we haven't discussed yet, like this is how you can build your brand better, like follow this step, or like this is something that you definitely want to do. We talked about avoiding things, but something you definitely now want to do.
Yeah, I think like there's always like two sides of it. Like you can either be like extremely data oriented, you can be really tactical, look at the data, look at the retention, look at the graphs, look at the all of these things, analyze keywords, what is really trending, etc. You can always do this and you can have like a big impact there. But I think, at least in my opinion, once again, it's like so much smarter and the leverage is way higher when you focus on more of the fundamental things, like actually your own presentation abilities, being yourself, what message are you trying to get across, and understanding the people who you actually speak to, understanding like being really open to it. Because a lot of people create content to a specific niche, and they talk about the things that they think that the niche wants, but you might be completely wrong if you don't have like really, really good insights on the niche. And of course, like all of the niches evolve, etc. So I think one of the best things that you can do to create like better content and create content that actually resonates and actually like creates like a big, like actual like true fans almost. I don't like to use the word fans. It seems a bit crazy to me that I would have fans, but like create an audience that actually likes your stuff a lot and like actually like tunes into your stuff. It's just like spending a lot of time on talking to the people in the niche. So at least as much as you spend on creating content.
Because your audience is going to tell you what they want to learn from you.
So like the best way how, for example, we create content right now, or where my content ideas come from and where the things that come from is like, I first talk to the people in our mastermind in Nasal Velocity, and I talk to these people there. I have weekly calls and I have one-on-one conversation, I have group conversations, and then to see what kind of questions get asked. And then I answer the questions in the calls and via message, etc. And I see what they understand and what they don't understand, what they resonate with and what they don't resonate with. And I try to get as much conversation out of that as possible, so I can see like all the different perspectives and bring other people to conversation as well. So I see their perspective and what limiting beliefs they have, what fears they have, what aspirations they have they done this before, have they failed at it? So I can get like a pretty good idea of what these people have done about this or how they feel about it. And then when I go create a YouTube video, I can create a YouTube video about the same topic, and I have like a way better base to actually talk about it, because I know multiple perspectives. I know different things that you can fail at. I know different fears that people have in this topic, different false beliefs, different and all of these different things. So then when I create content, it's gonna like be exactly what the people are looking for, at least the right people.
And that's a huge, another huge benefit of having a community.
Yeah, exactly.
That you can talk to. Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be a community. It can either be like, if you have a client, even if you have one client, let's say you run an agency or whatever kind of company, you have one client and you do a call with them and you just ask these questions. You're like, okay, before working with us, what kind of problems did you have? Why did you start working with it? What problem were you trying to solve? How was this problem affecting your life? How did you try to solve this problem in the past? What did you try? How did it work? Why you think it didn't work? How long did you do it for? Okay, now after you solved the problem, how has it changed your business? How it changed your life? What different beliefs did you have about this thing? How did you feel when we did this? How did you feel when we did that? And you can just, from one client alone, you can extract like video ideas and content topics for a year. And then as long as that's a good client, when you talk about these topics, it's going to attract exactly the same kind of people. So if you take your best client and do this interview process with them, you can attract just the same type of people, because they're going to, of course, resonate with the same stuff.
No, that's a great idea.
And if you have zero clients, if you have zero customers, zero clients, zero people are paying you, then you can do it with prospects. So you can go into the market. This is something that we do with sometimes when we work with like, especially early stage like startups, when they don't have a customer base, let's say they're pre-revenue. We do like market research and prospect interviews in the market. So we might call someone and say, hey, we're doing this market research and we're writing this research paper about this topic. I saw that you are clearly an expert in this industry because you're a title at this company. Do you mind giving us 5 minutes to ask these questions? And in exchange, you get X thing. You get free leads or free cold email campaign, or you get the report or whatever it might be. And then you can just talk to these people. And then when you get that information, you can use it to like everything. You can use it to create your sales letter. You can use it to create your content, YouTube content, LinkedIn content. You can use it to create your offer. And all of these things, your cold email scripts, cold email campaigns, and you have so much data there that like a lot of people, they're always focused on tactical aspect. We see this a lot on cold email as well, but it goes the same for content creation and anything marketing. People are always focused on the tactic. What script should I use? What technology should I use? What kind of hook should I do? Should I upload at 3 p.m. or 6 p.m.? Should I do shorts? Should I do IG? Should I do TikTok? Like, yeah, all of those things have an impact 100%. But at the foundation, if you don't know who you're talking to, and what these people struggle with and what kind of solutions they want, like everything is going to be irrelevant. So in my opinion, it's like higher leverage to focus on like the deep foundations of what you're trying to do instead of like the surface level tactics on top of it.
And instead of just assuming what your potential audience wants to know and actually ask them what they want to know.
Exactly. Like even if you have like the best retention, like editing and best tactics and best team, you can't sell snow to an Eskimo, you know? Like you can't create that good of a IG reel strategy that like Eskimos are going to start buying snow. It just won't work. But then if you really understand the fundamentals, you don't need you don't need the like big tricks. Like if you probably everyone has seen the iceberg picture of an iceberg. You have like this really small piece of the iceberg on top of the surface, and then under the surface there's like actually the 90% of the stuff. On top of the surface, like 10% of the things are the tactics, the platforms, the strategies, the editing, the tags, etc. And then 90% of the thing under the surface is actually like, okay, who are you talking to? What pains do they have? What are you selling them? What is their market sophistication? How aware are they? What fears are they willing to admit? What fears they are not willing to admit? What things have they failed at? And understanding these things, like you're going to be able to like beat everyone else.
Yeah, and just like to sum up is like start by knowing what the people actually want and don't assume, find out. Even you can go to read other people's comments. It's like maybe somebody made a video, read their comments to see what people are asking them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then next up you can start from the outcome that you want to communicate. So it's just like, don't start like writing, okay, this is a video, hi and welcome to my video. Don't start a script like this. Figure out what you want the people to come away with, what's the value you're offering, and start building around that, because you mentioned as well, it's like you need to know the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And also one last tip that I want to add is read Expert Secrets from Russell Brunson.
Oh yeah,
it's probably like one of the best books about like building a personal brand.
It's crazy.
Amazing.
It's crazy because I had a preconceived notion about the book. It's like, I'm like, where are as marketing book wants to upsell me these things and those things. But when I read it, it was like so actionable. It actually gave away the value and like all these things, and you can really follow it as a workbook and build your things. You don't have to buy ClickFunnels or anything.
I think literally like for people trying to create a personal brand and trying to actually create something big, I think Expert Secret has to be like one of the best books to read, like actionable books. Then of course you're gonna read like super deep like books from like human communication from like these communication experts and like CIA people and all of these things. But I think like easy to consume, fast to read, really actionable, Expert Secrets.
Follow along basically.
Yeah. Russell Brunson should give us an affiliate deal for this.
It's a great book. I highly recommend it as well.
It's amazing. I'm rereading it right now, so that's why it came to my mind. I read it like 3 times, 4 times.
It's right there.
Oh, you have it here as
well?
.com Secrets is also really well.
We also have copywriting secrets somewhere, and there's copywriting secrets is there as well, and there's like one more funnel secrets, right?
Yeah, all of those are really good, but I think Expert Secrets is like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's super good.
Awesome.
I know like people who do like millions a month, and they say like that's the best book they've ever read.
That's awesome, dude. I think we've got like a bunch of great content here for the viewer. Really glad to see you, have you on.
Thank you for having me.
So is there something else in the complete to finish it up, something you want to add, plug? Go ahead, the stage is yours.
If you are looking to become an amazing B2B growth marketer, go check out agentvelocity.io. And if you run an early stage startup company and just want to hit product market fit and grow through outbound and inbound and driven funnels and sales letters, message me somewhere.
Oh, because you're starting up the new agency again, right?
Yeah, we have like we created a new offer, and we have a new team put together, and it's great. It's super fantastic. We have already been doing this project for the past few years, but we have never had like a structured outbound sales process for it, because we get a lot of leads from inbound as well, and other team members run cold email campaigns, so a lot of the stuff comes from there. But we work with early stage B2B startups. And we grow them.
That's awesome. And at the very end, I did it last time. I think I'm going to make it a thing now. I'm skipping intros altogether. So just to introduce you, this has been Leevi Eerola. He is the founder and CEO of Agency Velocity. They help build cold emails. How do you word that? I messed it up last time as well.
Yeah, it's we have pivoted a bit. We're more focused on just B2B growth marketing in general.
Oh, cool.
Cold email is our main thing, but we do a lot of everything like sales letters, inbound, outbound, paid ads for B2B growth marketers.
They're super legit. They have like a community of hundreds of agencies that they've helped build and scale. Some of them are even 7 figures and beyond.
Yeah.
And you own yourself, you like built your own thing from 0 to 7 figures in a year, less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year.
So check out Agency Velocity, follow Leevi on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube.
OnlyFans, Patreon,
OnlyFans, yeah. Perfect.
Whatever it might be.
That's awesome. Okay, thanks man.
Amazing, thank you man.